Amen.
Pastor Carl, the subtitle of your book, Gods and Thrones, first of all, it's interesting to note that Gods is plural, but the subtitle, Nakash, Forgotten Prophecy, and the Return of the Elohim. First of all, kudos for putting two words in there that people are going, huh? Nakash? Elohim? Could you just touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I can. Let me address the title quickly first. Yeah, the gods is plural, but that, and I have several chapters on the understanding of it in my book, so I'm not going to go into all that. I'm going to give the 30-second answer to that and then move right to the subtitle. But the plural gods, all that means, it comes from the Hebrew word Elohim. That's the first word whereby God calls himself in the Bible. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Interesting, it doesn't say in the beginning Yahweh created or in the beginning Adonai created. It says in the beginning Elohim. Now, but that plural word is like our word deer or buffalo. See, it's in other words, there is, if I say look at the deer, did I see one deer or a herd of deer? If I say look at the buffalo, did I see one buffalo or a herd of buffaloes? Well, it depends on the qualifying words. Look at that buffalo, look at that deer, look at those deer, look at those buffalo. Okay, so Elohim is the same kind of word. It's in Hebrew. But we discover as we move through Genesis that it's always used in the singular form for God himself. But God himself, and unless you have the Hebrew translation or read Hebrew or understand Hebrew, you don't see this. This is why you need books like mine and or people need to understand these things. But throughout the Bible, God calls the angelic realm. He calls them also Elohim. But he doesn't mean they're gods equal to him. It's gods with a little g. Some English translations actually say, God says, have I not called you God, little g? Have I not called you gods? Gods, little g. In other words, he's saying, you're mine. You're part of my family, my divine family. You bear my name. I created you. So that's what it means. And so when it says gods and thrones, of course, you discover as you get into the book, I'm talking about the fallen Elohim, the fallen angelic realm that are manipulating the thrones of the earth right now because Satan knows his time is short. Does all of that make sense?
Yes. Makes perfect sense. Carl.
Okay.
The Satanists wanted to install their own tribute, a pagan idol, on the Capitol grounds right next to the Ten Commandments.
Billions around the planet are witnessing a world in the grasp of sadistic spiritual darkness. This unholy alliance has infected our governments, our religious institutions, and our societies. The world appears to be unraveling. But can the evil behind these dark supernatural forces be defeated? Is everything playing out just as the Bible predicted it will in the final days? At last, you can know the answers to mankind's most urgent questions and learn your destiny among today's events in the new, unprecedented work taking the prophecy world by storm. Gods and Thrones, Nakash, Forgotten Prophecy, and the Return of the Elohim by best-selling author, former decorated law enforcement officer, and senior pastor Carl Gallups. This changes everything. Available now wherever fine books are sold.